Until you've gone underwater in the kelp forest, you wouldn't have a clue what you're in for. When you look at it from the land and you just see these kind of brown spiky things floating on top of the water, and you imagine it's going to be quite unpleasant. You don't expect it to be so beautiful. From that very first dive, I just felt like I had tuned into something that was very, very good for me. And I felt like I was dropping into reality, the reality of the natural world, in a way that I never had before. I try and get into the water every single day. It's a very, very powerful practice to have, and it puts everything in perspective, because it's something so much bigger than yourself that you can't control, that you're constantly aware of. I feel very, very safe in the kelp as well. I know which animals live where, and I know that big predators like great whites are very unlikely to move into the kelp. When you talk about the Amazon or you talk about the Great Barrier Reef, those places are so iconic in most people's minds that people have an emotional connection to it, even if they've never been there. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to connect people emotionally to the Great African Sea Forest, which is this place that we really, really love and are dedicated to protecting. Skin diving is basically free diving, but not using a wetsuit. And in tropical places, I think it's normal to do it that way. But where I live in Cape Town, the water can drop to 8 degrees in certain months of the year. There's a whole cocktail of neurochemicals that get released into your brain by cold water, which, yeah, for me it's become like a practice, the same way that people meditate or do yoga. That's what the cold is for me. A kelp forest is very much like a rainforest on land. It's a three-dimensional space that you move through like a jungle. I'll just go in with a mask, be completely barefoot in the forest. It gives you a completely different feeling. Sometimes you kind of move through that and you feel like an aquatic monkey. For me, there's just something so incredibly calming about being in nature. I think the human psyche would evolve into a very unhealthy space without nature to ground it. My name is Pippa Ehrlich. I'm a skin diver and marine filmmaker and journalist.